Your TV is about to change forever.
What we see as the future is virtually unlimited capacity, which could mean 500 channels, it could mean 1,000 channels.
Video phones, home shopping, virtual reality. Welcome to the interactive age, where you are in control.
Interactivity is going to permeate virtually every type of entertainment you're aware of today.
Are we opening the door to an exciting new world? Or will we become a nation of couch potatoes?
I sat from like 9 in the morning until like 5 at night playing the game.
Frank Sesno, Judy Woodruff, Bernard Shaw, and Susan Rook. Tonight, join Susan Rook for a fascinating trip into the next century as CNN presents TV 2000.
What you're doing right now has become a habit, as familiar as getting dressed in the morning, settling back and letting me and your TV talk to you. But the way you watch television is about to change drastically.
Home viewers will have the power of real-time interactivity at their fingertips.
It's called interactive television. Soon, perhaps sooner than you think, you will be bombarded with hundreds of choices, all channeled by your TV screen. Everything from tuning into your favorite film whenever you feel like it,
Hasta la vista, baby,
to using your TV to shop, bank, and even go to work without ever leaving your home. We'll go cruising down this information superhighway, a fast-lane freeway where developments are barreling along at breakneck speed. On this high-tech highway, your television, computer, and telephone all merge into a single avenue of entertainment and information. But there are still plenty of roadblocks to navigate, so buckle up as we take you into TV 2000.
The information industry promises to place a complex network of entertainment and services right at your fingertips and make it easy to use and easy to pay for. That's a pretty big promise. Can interactive TV deliver? CNN Showbiz Today anchor Jim Murray begins our journey into the TV of the future. Jim?
Susan, cable, telephone, and computer companies are confident they can provide technology to allow us to talk back to our TVs, and they're certain we'll be willing to pay the price. In fact, they're so sure they're banking billions on it. What you see right now in this TV monitor may very well be what we could see on our TV screens in the future. It's our version of an interactive menu with symbols to guide you through a wide spectrum of services, all with just a touch of your remote control. According to the interactive sales pitch, it could forever change the way you and your family live.
Interactivity is going to permeate virtually every type of entertainment you're aware of today.
It really has the potential of changing the relationship that people have to their television set.
Interactivity is the ability to move through subjects and get exactly to what you want when you want it.
It will change society very deeply.
The goal of interactivity is to give the viewer more control. Here at this market study just outside Denver, Colorado, customers at home can use this simple remote control to choose from more than 2,000 movie titles. They can then program what they want when they want it. It's called video on demand, and it's just part of the interactive puzzle. Interactive entertainment means becoming your own television programmer, ordering movies from your living room rather than driving to a video store.
This is Take One. Any movie, anytime.
You order a movie by pressing the Take One button on your remote control.
That alerts a technician at TCI's Viewer's Choice TV headquarters to find the requested movie and load the tape into a player, which sends the signal directly to the customer's TV.
Hits at home. Hit movies every half hour.
A second service boasts 24 movie channels offering various films at staggered showtimes. This admittedly low-tech approach will ultimately be replaced by a fully automated system when the service hits the marketplace. Another company follows a different approach that uses a handheld device to bring the interactive concept to existing network television shows, including Murder, She Wrote.
And you were suspected of the theft.
Viewers of that show can win prizes by correctly solving the mystery. Interactive sports allows fans to join the competition. Armchair quarterbacks can predict plays at home while the game is being broadcast live.
2nd and 28, it's got to be a pass, huh?
It really makes me feel like I'm there. You know, it makes me get more into the game. You've got to concentrate, you've got to watch players. You know, you just can't sit there and guess.
Oh, shot saved by 39.
When the viewer becomes the coach, the people back at headquarters act as referees, comparing game results with viewers' predictions.
In an interactive baseball game, they order as many instant replays as they want.
The Videoway system in Montreal goes one step further, allowing the home viewer to become the director, choosing camera angles and the players they want to follow.
Si les propriétaires peuvent vous signer un papier disant...
One of the driving forces behind the interactive movement is games, from the soon-to-be-launched Sega Channel to the AT&T Imagination Network, which links game players across the country via personal computers.
Kevin's in Cupertino right now, and he's playing with his buddy Vincent here.
To play-along versions of traditional game shows like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
800. D. The kind of interactivity we're talking about is, I think, are things that let the viewer at home objectively record what his answers would have been, or objectively play along so that he can have a record of what he had to say, and so that he can compete with somebody else in another room, in another house, in another city.
You learned a new word today.
Yeah, I learn a new word every time I play. One day I called up and I think I played like 14 games in a row. I sat from like 9 in the morning until like 5 at night playing the game and not even realizing I had played like 14 games in a row.
When you're on vacation, do you miss this?
You bet. Mm-hmm. Especially if there's a sporting event on, Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy. I mean, the minute those things come on, it's like, I wish I had my game here.
Yeah, it's like, you can't wait to get home.
How are you doing?
All right. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, 1380. The biggest scores I've had all night.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Interactive education runs the gamut from home study with access to talking encyclopedias to offering prep courses for college entrance exams, including one being tested at Valley Christian High School in San Jose, California.
You're going to get a chance to do some more drill and practice on the SAT.
Valiant. I think it's cowardly, but we'll see.
Did you get it right?
Got it right.
All of a sudden, they became alive and animated. They just got all excited and made it a lot of fun. They really enjoyed it.
Now, when most people think of interactive television, they think about playing along in games. Mm-hmm. As an educator, how do you see the future of interactive television?
Well, I see that we're just really touching the tip of the iceberg, but I love what I see on the horizon right now. They're interacting, instead of taking a passive role, just sitting there and they say the couch potato, but becoming a part of it.
Oh, yeah! Woo! How did I get 180 and how did...
Home shopping channels like QVC already offer interactivity at its most basic level, prompting viewers to phone in orders for products as they see them.
Retail value is $55. QVC's price is $31.50.
But true interactive shopping brings a whole new dimension to buying and selling.
Welcome to Shopper's Advantage. Which department would you like to go to now? Please make a selection. Panasonic's PV800 VHS camcorder offers the most in comfort and convenience.
I think once you try it and once you buy from it and the product actually shows up and it works, then I think you're hooked.
Some companies are gambling heavily that interactive home shopping will pay for the costly technology that makes it possible.
The shopping alone, trust me, will pay for this in 4 years, 5 years. In fact, maybe sooner.
The so-called information superhighway, making interactive television a mass-market reality, will run along fiber optic cables the thickness of a human hair, each capable of carrying hundreds of channels of two-way communication. The cost to the telecommunications industry of building this highway could run up to $1,000 per customer. And beyond costs, the dilemma facing consumers is how to navigate among the 500-plus channels we're promised will be available. That's where electronic program guides like TV Guide on Screen and its rival Starsight come in.
With the proliferation of programming, people will focus on theme categories, genres. So very simple. By pressing one theme button, I get a list of categories. The categories are movies, specials, sports.
What we see as the future is virtually unlimited capacity, which could mean 500 channels, it could mean 1,000 channels, it could mean... the number of channels, I think, is irrelevant. The capacity is there to be able to provide you with something different from your next-door neighbor.
So it's more like one customized channel.
That's exactly right. The word channel is kind of irrelevant at that point. I mean, it's really more, it's my channel, and my channel is going to look different from your channel.
I think in the next 5 or so years that the chances of a large number of people having access to this will be fairly high, higher than most of us imagine.
We're on the eve of a worldwide revolution in communications.
There is so much hype that it's actually starting to scare me.
Main Street will change forever how you use television.
Clearly there's a future in it, but the hype is just enormous right now.
Have you ever watched the movie you wanted to, the minute you wanted to? You will.
I think consumers have perhaps been oversold. I think it's going to be at least a 5 to 7 year phenomena before the average household in America can be really become a significant player.
While true interactive television on a national level is still years away, in some U.S. cities, the future is now and may be as close as the nearest home electronics store. Here in Chicago, for example, IN, the interactive network, offers a simple two-way system that you use with your existing TV, all for around $200.
This is Jeopardy!
What we do is to let television viewers take their favorite programming that they're already watching and give them a technology that lets them be part of that programming and directly participate with it.
TV shows for answer.
I call it the off-the-rack fallacy. The idea that you can take stuff that already exists out there, just like a ready-made suit, and it's going to fit you.
There are some systems that are doing what we call fake interactive, which is that you're not really interacting with the actual information. You're doing play-along stuff.
Doesn't look like one that would go in the mountains or the deserts either, huh? How about number 1, swampy areas? Yeah, we got it right.
Adding another level of interactivity, the GTE Main Street service combines audio, text, and graphics, no moving video, but a variety of programming choices, including games, education, financial and travel services, and home shopping, among others.
I think it's great for children to have this, to be able to use the different programs and things.
It's currently available in parts of Massachusetts and North San Diego County, where fewer than 3% of the homes have bought it.
It's had some mixed results, I guess. It's a product that we think, with time, as people become more
accepting of interactive TV, that the numbers will continue to grow.
Well, this is literally a picture of the original document.
For students at Columbine High School near Denver, Colorado, rare documents from the Library of Congress are literally at their fingertips through the Jones Intercable American Memory Program. The two-way system links the school to Laserdisc via coaxial cable and serves as a model for the future of interactive education, both at school and at home.
Well, I think it's really neat because I can actually relive what happened. I can really see the things instead of just hear about them.
It makes education alive for them. It gets them involved.
The future of interactive television may depend in part upon what the people right here have to say about it. One Viacom official called this Anytown, USA. It's the San Francisco Bay Area community of Castro Valley, and it's also the site of one of the largest and most ambitious tests of interactive TV in the world. Viacom's 18-month test will soon bring interactive television to 1,000 customers in Castro Valley. They'll have the ability to order movies 24 hours a day using a TV remote control, which also allows them to pause, fast forward, and rewind as they would a videotape. Customers will also have interactive versions of MTV, Nickelodeon, and VH1, in addition to multiplayer video games and home shopping, all designed to be easy enough for an adult to use.
What we're trying to do is to make the technology invisible to the customer, because we think it's the benefits and the services that people will derive from interactivity, not the technology itself, that is what's going to make the capability commercially acceptable.
Time Warner has teamed up with US West for a 2-year test of their own, beginning early this year in 4,000 homes in Orlando, Florida.
We've seen in almost every area we're talking about, whether it's movies or games or catalog shopping or news and information on demand, these are all fundamental requirements.
We have a conference call in place. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you this afternoon?
Meanwhile, across the country in Cerritos, California, GTE is testing a variety of services, including two-way video phones, movies on demand, and interactive compact discs for the Discovery Channel.
It means being able to make the phone calls on the television. It means pulling up a movie when I want to see it. It's wonderful.
I think in the next 5 or so years that the chances of a large number of people having access to this will be fairly high, higher than most of us imagine.
Eon is shaping the face of interactive entertainment.
Using wireless technology, Eon plans to sell its variety of interactive services in several major U.S. cities this year. In addition to its video-on-demand test, TCI is spending $2 billion on its fiber optic cable network. Meanwhile, Time Warner is prepared to invest $5 billion in its full-service network. Many companies are staking their financial futures on the assumption that people need interactive television and are willing to pay for it.
A lot of people are making big investments in this.
With so many different efforts underway, some of them are going to be wrong.
And unfortunately, I think lots of money will be lost in the process.
There's an investment banking firm in Dallas that has a pool right now on what company will be the first to lose $1 billion on this market.
And it's no joke.
And it's no joke.
So, Jim, where is all of this going to begin?
It's anybody's guess, but most people think that it will begin with game shows, what many people think will be the driving force behind interactive television. You see, Hollywood producers know that the technology is coming, but the challenge facing them is to craft new programs to meet the technology. The Mark Goodson Company, for example, is launching a game show channel that's going to have traditional game shows and also brand new interactive game shows specifically designed for the home player.
All right. Thanks, Jim. CNN presents TV 2000. We'll be right back.
Labrador que ce système artistique
The Video Way cable system in Montreal delivers more than just movies, music videos, and 24-hour news.
If I want to know what's the temperature outside, I just go and flick the TV.
So I have this machine now that I can play chess with.
Marc Muller and Brigitte Brunel treat their television the way many people treat their newspapers or computers.
I'm not a big newspaper reader anyways, so I do tend to, you know, if I want to get any information that interests me, I'll go directly to the video web.
There are daily horoscopes, movie listings, personal ads, each day's winning lottery numbers, airport information on arriving and departing flights, educational programs for children, and a special section for customers over 55, full of tips and information tailored to their needs. Rita Sharon is past 60, and she's had no trouble getting up to speed in the interactive fast lane.
I think it's more entertaining now because I can do what I want with it whenever I want.
Like many people, Rita and her daughter, Evelyn Archambault, enjoy watching the evening news, but their news is different. It's interactive. Using the remote, they have some control over which kinds of stories they'd like to see, such as sports or international news. Sometimes they decide not to choose the news and just watch the normal broadcast. And sometimes they decide to watch, or rather do, something else.
While the ads are on, I put a game on.
With all the choices, Rita says, it's not too much.
Would you recommend it to people who have not tried it before?
I would. Try it, you'll like it.
Who's going to sit there and go through 500 channels to find out which ones they want to watch, and then have to go to which shows they want to watch? And people, they look at it, it's like, this is too much for me, you know?
The term interactive TV conjures up images of endless channels zapping your screen with information overload. Will it open up whole new avenues of vital resources, or will it be, in the words of rocker Bruce Springsteen, 57 channels and nothing on? CNN science correspondent Miles O'Brien continues our journey into TV 2000. Miles?
Susan, the video vistas of the future may be wide open, but the information superhighway is still under construction. That means plenty of logistical logjams ahead. And further down the road, some troubling questions about what interactive TV will do to our society. Buckle your seatbelts. The interactive convoy is rolling down the superhighway, and you are taking a ride.
There's a feeling of you don't want to be left behind.
Just drop a few billion in the toll booth, and you're in the fast lane.
It's a cross between the gold rush and the carpetbaggers after the Civil War.
Cable, computer, telephone, and TV programming companies are jockeying and joining forces to stake a claim.
We'll bet our company on it, but that's how committed we are to this future.
Big stakes.
Big opportunity.
Some believe there is a $1 trillion pot of gold at the end of this broadband pipeline.
Things are speeding up because there's great interest out there. There's interest by the creative community. There's interest by customers.
But while the bandwidth ban plays on, the interactive visionaries planning this high-tech party of the future are haunted by some nagging questions. What if people aren't ready for all the channels and all the choices? What if this heavily hyped soiree becomes a billion-dollar bust?
just don't want to have to work at it. They just want to sit there and be entertained.
Yeah, it's just going to become another task for you to do.
I mean, that could really change things a lot, and I'm not sure that's for the better.
They are high school seniors, fearless technophiles, anxious to embrace the interactive future, right? Well, not all teenagers are on board.
Who's going to sit there and go through 500 channels to find out which ones they want to watch? Change it. And then you have to go to which shows they want to watch.
Proud to be a woman, I wouldn't want to be a man.
And people, if they look at it, it's like, this is too much for me, you know?
You've been working so hard all day, and then you just want to relax, you want to watch something that you don't have to think about.
Talk like that doesn't surprise Robert Kuby.
It is not true that if you build it, they will necessarily come.
Kuby is a psychologist and professor of communication at Rutgers University. He spends a lot of time watching what we watch and why. He says people like TV now because they don't have to think about it.
You just push a button and it's there. And the idea that people are going to flock to something that's not only more interactive but more challenging and more difficult is a questionable assumption. I think in some cases they will.
Ease of use is an article of faith in Montreal. Remember Rita Sharon?
Is this something that first intimidated you in any way, the technology? Or?
No, I don't think so.
It's sort of like the way most people use a newspaper.
Right. And it's easier, because I could just use my fingers.
Compared to full-blown, high-performance interactive networks currently on drawing boards in the United States, VideoWay is a Model T system. VideoWay researcher Andre Caron says people aren't ready for a Ferrari.
Everybody always says people are technophobes. Does your research bear that out?
The whole aspect of being technophobe didn't really appear in our research because people weren't perceiving it as a computer.
So it's a computer in TV clothes. It's okay that way.
Incognito, yeah.
Simple as it may be, this Model T system is sputtering, unable to get beyond 1 in 4 households.
Viewers will have the power of real-time interactivity at their fingertips.
$5 or $10 a month may be all consumers are willing to pay for new interactive services.
The best-kept secret in automotive history.
So commercials like these will probably be standard fare on interactive networks of the future.
So revolutionary.
Want to know more about that car? Just click here. A brochure will be in the mail. Ordering those flowers is only a keystroke away. It's an advertiser's dream and a privacy protector's nightmare, straight from George Orwell's 1984.
Remain exactly where you are. Make no move until you are ordered.
Will an interactive Big Brother be watching?
They'll know how old you are, what your income is, what other credit cards you hold, what your credit rating is, do you pay your bills, what kind of things you like, when you sleep.
Advertisers are a bit wary too. They aren't sure whether to drool over the niche audiences they can target or cry beside the grave of the mass market.
The more control you have over your television, the more you're going to resent these targeted advertisers. And there's really a big challenge for these people.
But there's a more fundamental challenge confronting the nation as it begins building this superhighway. It's access, not to digitized sitcoms, but to information. Because many people believe the smart TVs of tomorrow will be as essential as telephones are today. If the tolls on the superhighway are too high, large numbers of people could be cut off, unplugged from a wired world.
And it really would create two separate societies. It potentially divides our society into information haves and information have-nots. There's a telecommunications apartheid that could happen within our society if we are not careful.
But Time Warner chief Jerry Levin says he isn't looking for a fight.
I don't want to be a party to establishing an information aristocracy that comes about through affluence.
Access to television is also a concern at the Roberts home. Limiting access, that is. 9-year-old Andrew watches too much television, according to his parents.
I bet he watches 3 hours.
3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Just count on you guys. You can.
Well, it is difficult to control it.
So when the tube offers 10 or 20 or 100 times more stuff to watch than it does now, what will happen in the Roberts home or in your home?
I think with this kind of infinite number of choices that kids have, they're just going to be more and more locked into the world of television.
Locked in what high school English teacher Pat Welsh calls the wired bedroom. At the Pollard house, the wired bedroom is a part of the daily routine.
Bizarre. Do you watch a lot of TV?
Yeah. TV gives you something to do. I mean, reading books and all that is fun, but TV's funner.
They're saturated with television.
Mike and Kathy Pollard admit they use television as an easy, inexpensive way to keep their children entertained while they unwind after work.
Do you think TVs bring families together or pull them apart in general?
Pulls them apart. It takes away from our interactions. They play Nintendo. They go watch, their favorite programs, and it takes away from the time that, I'm used to having with them.
And so the Pollards aren't anxious to give their children more to watch.
It would take away from their exercise, their sunshine, their running and playing, and friends. They wouldn't have as many friends because they come home and that would be their friend, the television.
The interactivity that we see in the future will truly be interactive, where you'll be, even if you want to, changing plots and stories or programming if that's how you so choose.
I'm quite a hermit in real life. I really am.
Lori McDowell lives a lot of her life through screens. Television screens.
I like watching my soaps. I watch All My Children in General Hospital, and they're like family to me.
And computer screens.
I watch my soaps first, and then I get on the computer and talk about what I saw that day.
Lawmakers planning a meeting behind
She talks to other computer users on an electronic bulletin board.
They're a great group of people.
Lori longs for the day when her screens become a single interactive window on the world.
I'm so excited about that. That would just be a riot. I could have picture-in-picture. I could be talking on the computer and watching TV all in the same set at the same time. It'd be wonderful.
It appears Lori will not be disappointed.
Eventually, there will be photos all over the service.
The service is Prodigy, the computer network, currently transmitted on phone lines. Scott Kernett says it's only a matter of time before the pictures move and Prodigy becomes a TV network.
TV business is saying, we want to be in your business, and frankly, we're saying we want to be in the TV business.
Other computer networks are thinking along the same lines, and many major newspapers and magazines are joining them, publishing electronic editions on these services. It's just text now, but not for long.
Once you go beyond providing the simple replication of the print media and can begin to provide a multimedia product that has full motion video, sound, and print, and the ability to do transactions, I think it will become a very compelling and very exciting medium.
And don't forget the phone companies. One of them, Bell Atlantic, is testing a system which will allow customers to dial up a movie and have it immediately transmitted to their TVs over existing thin phone wires. Still, the system has limitations, and Bell Atlantic doesn't see it as a long-term alternative to a full-fledged fiber optic network.
It's the beginning of interactivity. Now, the interactivity that we see in the future will truly be interactive, where you'll be, even if you want to, changing plots and stories or programming if that's how you so choose.
Welcome to Newsweek Interactive.
Right now, the only place to find that kind of interaction is on a computer, the perfect vehicle for interactive stories, games, and educational fare.
Super Tuesday, caucus, delegate, lobbyist, intelligent, flesh.
The parent company of MTV and Nickelodeon, Viacom, is diving keyboard first into the world of interactive entertainment.
We would love to respond to what our audience wants, whether that's programming on demand or to interact with it, adapt to it, change it, really play with it and have fun with it.
MTV is tinkering with ideas like allowing viewers to manipulate images and music, or choose the songs they like and filter out what they don't.
This sucks. I can't watch this.
That's what your TV could become in the near future. Here on the campus of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, some of the best and brightest minds have a vision of how telephones, televisions, and computers might evolve and converge in the long run. It's the MIT Media Lab, a candy store in cyberspace. Funded by some of the world's largest media conglomerates, the computer and creative people here are pushing the research envelope.
Just trying to get us from one place to another.
People like Gloriana Davenport, a documentary filmmaker turned media visionary.
Now the way a multifilter works, it lets you overlap.
In her class, students are creating interactive movies in a radically different way.
We're trying to build a movie that can be personalized for different viewers. How long do you have to watch this movie? Do you want it compressed into 5 minutes, stretched out to 15 minutes long? How much dialogue do you want versus how much action? Are you an action scene lover?
Just tell the computer what you want, and it will customize a movie using scenes stored in its memory.
Hey, stop! So we're able to play out a movie differently each time it's orchestrated by the computer.
When World News returns, this should be...
Researchers here are also working on personalized newscasts. Broadcasts are digitized, so each story becomes a file in a computer, allowing you to select and watch what you want, when you want.
If you want your country to win again, if you want your country to be one again...
Through the wires and over the workstations, you'll find Patty Moss. She is working on ways to sort through the cacophony of clutter, which will fill the information superhighway. Her idea? Agents. Not the kind movie stars hire, but an electronic agent, actually a computer program, which looks over your shoulder constantly and learns what you like to watch, read, and buy.
Once they detect such patterns, they can actually take some initiative and automate some of those patterns on your behalf.
Moss sees agents as benign personal assistants, like the obsequious video butler in this AT&T promotional peek into the future.
Mr. Wu, however, is fishing in Mongolia and has taken himself off the network. His intelligent agent, Mr. Park, will handle the call.
The vision may differ from popular perception. Interactivity may be easier than watching TV today.
It'll be really much more passive in the sense that it won't be asking you constantly to interact. In one sense, the best interaction is the lack of it.
The interactive environment of the future may be overwhelming to you, but just ask the next 9-year-old you meet what he or she thinks about having the power to talk to television and have it respond. They'll probably think it's pretty cool.
I want a TV like the Jetsons do, because they have a screen that shows the people that are on there.
This is Rocket Rick, your D's Drive Time Digital Top 10 DJ. And here's the morning traffic advice.
For most kids, it's simple. They want to have what George Jetson, Captain Kirk, and the guy in the Honda commercial have.
You think you need it? You gotta have it.
I don't need it, I want it.
They're not intimidated by computers, and they certainly are used to controlling what happens on their screens. The Nintendo generation will be the first fully interactive generation. What will that be like?
You never have to leave your house. That'd be the best thing in the world.
Of course, it may not be the best thing in the world. Some critics equate interactivity with isolation. Imagine a world filled with Chauncey Gardners of the movie Being There.
They asked if you would be interested.
Yes, I've been on television.
It looks grim. It does look like a future in which we'll be locked in our houses behind these glass walls. Whoa. I guess we'll all be Beavis and Butthead at that point. We'll just be these completely illiterate couch potatoes sitting there staring blankly at the screen.
But some would suggest the interactive world will bring us together in new ways.
We will discover that our meeting people electronically will lead inevitably to our desire to see them face to face.
As a matter of fact, we're seeing signs already that this is a new way of having a social congregation around ideas.
You won't have to convince Laurie McDowell of that.
I can be on a computer and I can be talking to all these people, and they won't have any idea what I look like, what I sound like, and nobody will care. People only care about what I say. It doesn't make any difference what I sound like, what I look like, and boy, that really opened up my life again.
So, Miles, with any emerging technology or new industry, there's always a question of government control. What's happening with that?
Well, the Clinton administration wants to make this happen, so it is proposing lifting many of the old laws which govern the phone companies and the cable companies, which makes it difficult for them to compete. At the same time, they want to add certain laws and regulation that guarantee access to all. It's important that not just the privileged people have access to the superhighway.
All right, we'll see what happens. Miles, thanks. And we'll be right back. Stay tuned. During a summit of communications and entertainment executives in Los Angeles earlier this month, Vice President Al Gore outlined some rules of the road for the information superhighway. The Clinton administration's goal, encouraging competition while keeping consumers from being divided into the information haves and have-nots.
This is not a matter of guaranteeing the right to play video games. It is a matter of guaranteeing access to essential services.
Among the administration's recommendations, allowing telephone and cable companies to enter each other's businesses.
I think the government's primary role right now should be phasing out unnecessary regulation at the appropriate time.
But with the twin challenges of balancing private investment and public interest, the Clinton administration faces a rocky trip and the information superhighway ahead.